Hello, everyone. This is David Morgan, and it's getting near the end of the year, and I have back the one and the only John Perez. John, it's getting near the end of the year. We started this almost a year ago, and boy, we got our little flacolas thrown at us because we called the top at Bitcoin around 66.6 or 67,000,
yes.
And a lot of people, we don't understand Bitcoin. And everyone at the time was saying either two words. One, it was going to 100,000 or 125,000. Those were the most popular memes out there at the time. And so we started in and forged ahead. And I had other guests on, had you primarily, especially for the first 10 episodes. All of them were you, but several were. And then around 14, we did a three-way with Kurt Wuckert. Basically verified everything that we brought to the fore, the tie-in with MIT, the tie-in with Jeffrey Epstein, this Ito character, Ghislaine Maxwell, with how much she did in Bitcoin and all that. And I'm not going to steal your thunder, John, because you dive deep in this. And it was you really that brought it to my attention. I'd say we worked together. But
yes.
I was somewhat skeptical. I've always had, way back to my 2 bits about Bitcoin, I was unsure. It just looked like some kind of an op. And then, of course, when you called me and said it's wreckable, I think that's what I said. Okay, we've got to get going on it. So, John, now that you bring us up to speed with anything you want, you can go to Silver is Money and move from there. But if you just prefer, you just kind of wrap up what I just did, what you primarily and others brought to the fore and everything. I think it's been bullseye after bullseye.
Yes.
After bullseye. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we probably spoke for a year, 2 years before you actually went with this, and it kind of confirmed some theories and looks that you had on Bitcoin, and we nailed it, David. We nailed it, and then you brought in Mike Adams, and then we went back and forth. Everything we said came true. Everything we said from the trade side, on the trade coming down on the price of Bitcoin, as well as the move on silver, because now we're going through we did the silver Psyop too, and now that's coming true, where we've got the decoupling of silver going up and now Bitcoin. And I have someone who's following the charts, and he says, John, this has been a trend for months now. So we've got the silver Psyop being fulfilled, the crypto Bitcoin conspiracy, Epstein, and fast forward, things are moving so fast. I want to say this. The crypto conspiracy should have been called the Bitcoin prophecy, because that's what it turned out to be. We were right on the money here. And now we've got FTX, which is connected to Tether, which we talked about Tether. And now we've got BitBoy, of all people, BitBoy, who's got 1.45 million subscribers. I've been watching him. BitBoy has just been all over the crypto conspiracy, filling in all the gaps that we talked about here. And I've been watching. In fact, he just leaked. This guy is leaking out things that are just literally just mind bending, but everything is a confirmation that our entire crypto conspiracy theories was right on the money. The silver Psyop is now being fulfilled right now. And our confirmation meeting with Kurt Wuckert on number 14, crypto conspiracy, which I think we should have a reunion. I think we should.
Agreed.
I think we need to get Kurt back on here and just pretty much before the year's over, maybe connect notes, because at this point we're pretty much all in the end zone, spiking the football. I told you so. I mean, this is the big I told you so moment. Merry Christmas, and we got a lot more to come here. But quick update on things. First of all, congratulations to you, because you had the wisdom to put me on your show on a really sensitive topic that nobody wanted to talk about. And that is human trafficking and Epstein and crypto and Bitcoin. We had the detractors, the critics, but the critics were all wrong. Not only were the critics wrong, but even their recommendations on what to do based on listening to us, they were wrong in all our recommendations, what they said. David Morgan and John Perez don't know anything about crypto, pile into crypto, and their calls, everyone got completely wiped out, and they're still losing. They're going to lose more, because as I said, Bitcoin's going to $4,200, and there's going to be margin calls across the board. But now we've got FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, who we talked about on this show. I said he's running an electronic Federal Reserve just printing up coin. He sent billions to Tether. Basically, now this is funny. Sam Bankman from Mr. FTX, which we all has been in the news, we've been in the news with nonstop. Sam Bankman sent billions in the Tether, which is unaudited still to this day, still unaudited. We have BitBoy, who I'm watching now, BitBoy every day, talking about, he said Tether is the biggest scam in the world. And CoffeeZilla covered it here. So David, I mean, you and I, we're just kind of sitting here, kind of like hands in the air going, man, we called it. We called it perfect. And I can't tell you, dozens and dozens of people have contacted me, sold my Bitcoin above 60,000, sold my Bitcoin, sold my Theta, sold everything after watching your guys' videos. And it just feels good, the fact that we are able to provide some information where people are able to save, spare, and preserve profits, in a trade, which we knew from the beginning, Bitcoin was made out of thin air, backed by nothing, no comparison to gold and silver, proof that, once again, silver and gold are money. And now watching this new chapter of destruction with Sam Bankman fried, I call him Fried Bankman, and watching Bitcoin, literally this guy, BitBoy Crypto, I've been watching him for a while. He is literally blowing the story wide open. Recommend everyone follow BitBoy. But he's also confirmed everything we talked about. And there's a couple dots I want to connect at the end of this whole entire Bitcoin and crypto conspiracy. Listen to this. This is mind bending. And this is just literally the last 24 hours. 1 year after we did our crypto conspiracy, we got FTX and Sam Bankman. And I said that Sam was related to Tether and Bitcoin. I followed the relationship. I didn't go into a deep dive. There was just so much going on. But now, fast forward a year later, he's in the news. And a year later, what do we have? The silver psyops being fulfilled. But now, the silver psyop, who was running the CFTC when the silver psyop took off in 2008, was Gary Gensler. And now Gary Gensler is the head of the SEC, who basically, one of the guys he was working with, his daughter was running FTX with Sam Bankman. Here, Gary Gensler took silver to where it's at, went from the CFTC to the SEC, and now this thing is just literally like, I mean, this looks like the Keystone Cops or the Three Stooges. I don't know how to say, but it's like, wait a second. This guy left the CFTC, silver in a shambles, manipulated, fines everywhere. We know silver manipulation is not a conspiracy. It is just simply a fact. And anyone who tells you it's not is probably someone you should probably question. Now, Gary Gensler, SEC, and under his watch at the CFTC, silver got whacked consistently. And now at the SEC, he is literally related. His coworker, I'm not sure which, an official at the SEC, his daughter is running FTX, Alameda with FTX, with Sam Bankman-Fried under his watch at the CFTC as well as the SEC. This FTX piece kept on going here. And it gets even better. We had Ghislaine Maxwell. At this time, we were talking about Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney. And I said that all roads lead to Epstein and human trafficking. And at the end, Bitcoin and crypto, all roads will lead back to Jeffrey Epstein. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody still wants to talk about it here. I think Bitcoin is on the trail here. I think he's going to break the big story here. But yesterday, Sam Fried Bankman hired Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney. I mean, what are the odds here, David? I mean, we said Epstein and Bitcoin. I'm like, do I need more? Ghislaine, what's your attorney's number here? It's like, Epstein, I know Epstein, and the connection's there, right on the money, long time ago, called it. All roads at FTX are going to lead back to Jeffrey Epstein and human trafficking, crypto coin. We're going to find out that this was a deep state operation. And as I've said now, we're going into the problem, reaction, solution phase, where, as I said in the crypto conspiracy, Bitcoin was wreckable. It'd be wrecked. They'd overregulate and they'd open up the CBDCs and they're going to bring in another coin. And I pretty much have a guess. It's going to be a coin with an X on it. If you take a look at the XLM coin, or I should say the XLM logo on the Rothschild owned Economist magazine. You'll see the Phoenix bird on there. If you look at the logo on that coin, that is the XLM logo, the same logo that's related to Ripple, XRP, XLM. And so you see where this is going here. And I believe that once they over-regulate and take everything out, they're going to roll in XLM or XRP as the back end here. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sam Bankman is using Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney. I mean, what are the odds? Who could have called this? David, nobody called it. Nobody was even near. And even to this day, people still can't figure this. Even though the evidence is out there, we showed it on Graph Commons, the connection directly with Tether, with the founder, with Brock Pierce, the interviews with the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort covered it really, really well. We called it. There are still people out there that will not go down this road and talk about reality. And this is the state of journalism today. We have people that will not cover real stories, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth. And you covered it. You covered it. And now, I mean, what do we say? We have FTX, Sam Bankman using Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney here, leading partner to Epstein. You know, it's like, I rest my case here. We were right on the money here.
A couple things come to mind on the XLM situation or XRP. You know, remember when the Federal Reserve was being proposed, the bankers actually got like the press, the newspapers, to put out these stories that the bankers were really against the Federal Reserve. They didn't want the Federal Reserve. The whole Federal Reserve idea was a horrible idea. And that was propaganda, press, manipulation of the mindset in order to fool the general public that, oh my goodness, you know, the bankers don't like it. Well, maybe it's a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. Well, in that vein, is this sort of where this whole XRP thing is gone, where, you know, it's a security, it's not a security, you've got to really look into this. It's, you know, it's almost, to me, a repeat of what happened before the 1913 vote on the lab. I think it was the 24th of December, and there wasn't really a forum in Congress when they passed the dang thing. What do you think? I think it's a kind of a setup to make it. Yeah. Oh, we took him to court. We looked under everything and over everything and through everything.
Yes.
Did everything. And geez, it's okay to use it now.
This is a classic Hegelian dialect operation. I talked about this with Seth Holhouse. We talked about this. I said, this is all planned. In fact, I said that right now, Janet Yellen and Jay Powell get me jumping up and down for Christmas. Why? Because now people are looking at them as the villains, can say, no, we're not the villains. Sam Bankman-Fried is the villain. We're the good guys, you know? I mean, look at these guys over here, you know? It's like, hey, we're running the show here. And, you know, Gary Gensler's like, we can't say it about Gary Gensler. He's in deep doo-doo. I mean, we still got CFTC silver. And now, I mean, what are the odds that Gary would go from CFTC silver manipulation and fines with JP Morgan to all of a sudden SEC, FTS, Bankman-Fried? It's like, this happened under your watch, but this happened under all their watches for years, going back to Obama with Bitcoin. They just looked the other way on the crypto. Now it's turned out to be this big wipeout. So I see Hegelian dialect, problem, Bitcoin, crypto, scams, FTX, regulate. You know, and Yellen's going to come in there. We're going to regulate you. You know, we're going to fix this problem here. You fiat people, you crypto people. And it's like, oh, by the way, here's a solution. We have our CBDCs to surveil and track. To replace the fiat crime situation. We have our own CBDC, which in my opinion is just the ultimate in surveillance and tracking. Because let's face it, crypto is nothing but one thing, a surveillance and tracking device. And as John McAfee said, Bitcoin is and was and remains a surveillance and tracking device. And if the word is out, if it's true, if that goes back to the pedophiles, who were they really tracking? Is this black? I mean, he was in the business of blackmail. So were these people here that are promoting crypto, are they blackmailed? We don't know. This story is still unfolding, but I'll tell you what. Problem, reaction, solution. Right now, Yellen and Jay Powell are like, hey, you know, we're printing money here, but look at these guys over here doing this FTX thing. I mean, it's like, wait a second. Aren't you guys like part of the system? Shouldn't you have like a regulator looking over that? Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait, the regulator knows these people here. I mean, we're in Our financial system is in a world of shit right now. I mean, that's the only way to look at it.
So I've got another question for you, John. We've been watching the demise of the price of Bitcoin and many other currencies. Yet, with all this news out there and more coming to the fore about Tether, I'm surprised actually that Bitcoin's still hanging around the $16,000-$17,000 range here.
Good question.
My question is, do we need to see a Tether arrow, something happens, something gets brought to the fore about Tether, and for that to have to happen before Bitcoin goes from the 17 down to the 10,000. I'm looking for it to go to at least 10 and 4,200. Yours call it may be there, but I don't think it's going to stay at 17. I think it's got to at least go down to 10, but it just seems to be hanging. So we need a Tether problem for it to move lower.
Yeah, and remember during the crypto conspiracy, we covered the fact that the Senate Banking Committee had determined that up to 85 to 90% of Bitcoin volume was uneconomic, and they were using Tether to prop up the price of Bitcoin. So I'm under the impression, remember in the initial phases of our interviews, I said that there was a major military sting operation going on. I still believe that is going on, and I believe that the current market price is just keeping people in there, and because they're not complete yet. I think this feels like a controlled demolition here right now. And I mean, Bitcoin's been fixed between 16,000 and 17,000 for almost like 5-6 months now. And you look at it, you think, how is it that Bitcoin, I mean, Celsius going down, all these different cryptos going down, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. Now we got celebrities going down. Everything else is just falling apart because the entire Ponzi scheme, everyone's connected. You had one big Ponzi scheme and then a lot of baby Ponzi's under it. So when FTX went down, it took out a whole bunch of other people here. But I believe that Bitcoin is being artificially held there. But I think, believe it or not, I believe that the artificial holding of Bitcoin is by design, but I believe it's by U.S. military enforcement. I believe the U.S. military is now doing this because, as I talked about in one of the articles, I talked about how the U.S. military has been trained to follow and track all the Bitcoin transactions. And I'm convinced now that we are in literally the final phases of a very large crypto sting operation here. We're going to see the largest seizures of gold because a lot of money from Bitcoin was laundered into real estate. I've been watching the DOJ and the Treasury, and they're seizing all this real estate that was purchased with money laundered through Bitcoin. And there was recently a guy that was just arrested, I think, with a 3.6 billion of quote stolen Bitcoin. But I was reading the press release and it said part of the seizure was various metals. Wait a second here. Various metals. What are we talking about? Are we talking about lead, copper, or are we talking about gold and silver? I suspect here, this person here was buying a lot of gold and silver. And as I said in the crypto conspiracy, I said we're going to see some of the largest seizures of gold and silver are going to come from crypto criminals who laundered their goods into silver and gold. And I think we may see 1 or 2 silver or precious metals operations possibly come under the microscope for bringing in money, a KYC. Someone comes in to make a purchase, you got to be very careful coming in. So I think that this is a sting operation continues to go on. I said that in my first meeting, and I believe right now that we are still watching a military sting operation here, and they're wrapping people up. And this goes back to my original conversation regarding Executive Order 13818, Section 7. There'd be no notice, there'd be no warning, just sealed indictments. Military tribunals would be coming about, and it was very clear in Section 7 that the reason why there would be no warning on any investigation in crypto is because they knew that the crypto people could move their monies instantly. So it was specifically written, Executive Order 13818, specifically for crypto criminals, people operating. And I think this trail here, it's going back to Epstein, and we got big things coming. I'm just glad that we have to sit on the sidelines here and kind of enjoy the show here. And just, like I say, I've been watching BitBoy. He literally is what he's doing right now is just a place where I never thought anyone would go. He is literally at the Tether offices. He's hunting down FTX. They've got people leaking videos on here, the crimes, and it was FTX that sent billions of dollars to Tether. Where did that money go? Well, we find out FTX was financing the Republicans, the rhinos, financing the Democrats. Another article he's talking about was there may have been FTX futures contracts where investors could buy futures on supporting Biden or Trump during the 2020 election here. That story is still unfolding. And then the money laundered in Ukraine through FTX, which I said in the video that we're going to see crypto and Ukraine. Well, now we're talking war with Russia. We're talking war crimes. I mean, this thing here, David, we still got a long ways to go, but the fireworks are coming. The main thing is that we broke the story. We got it out there. And now we've got these big guns guys out here like BitBoy Crypto really knocking the story out here. And it feels good. Got a lot of people too. A lot of people joined the Silver Gold Stock Club, Silver Money, all of them refugees from Bitcoin. Now they got into the physical silver markets. They're doing silver and gold stocks now. And it's been a big eye opener here. So anyhow, I tell people every day, David Morgan deserves the humanitarian award for the internet for literally. I mean, you let me come on your show and talk about something very controversial. You took a big risk with that, and it paid off. Worked out really well.
Well, where do you see the crypto space going? Let's say all markets go, up and down, and markets go from undervalued to fair value to overvalued, and then overvalued to fair value to undervalued, and that's when you buy. So I've said, and you don't have to verify it. I mean, John, you speak your mind. I know that. I've said that the next leg up might be, or I probably said would be, led by asset-backed cryptos, i.e. gold and silver backed, maybe cobalt backed, maybe oil backed, maybe lumber backed. And because people have now gotten the idea, if this stuff is backed by zero, then what value does it really have? Now, there's some out there that have software protocols and they have use within the software world, so certainly it doesn't have to be like a hard tangible asset in every case, but it has to provide something of value in order for it to have value. So what's your take on my take that once this thing bottoms and goes up, you think that the asset backed ones will be the leaders?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. And people ask me many times the question, I saw the crypto conspiracy. I know you hate crypto. I said, no, I don't. I love the technology. I think that there's great value and utility there, without a doubt. I said the problem with what I saw was just the players involved with it. You can't do a good deal with corrupt people, period. You can't do a good deal with technology that's related to a human trafficker. That doesn't mean that the technology cannot be used by the right people. But to your point, I've always said a crypto, any type of technology with gold or silver backing, yes. Respects the U.S. Constitution and privacy rights, yes. Backed by real assets that are audited and yes. Real assets like gold, crypto, maybe oil and other assets. Yes, why not? I mean, this makes total sense. Now, whether it gets through the regulation phase, maybe the government doesn't want competition. I don't know. But I've always been a big believer in that. In fact, even before this came up with the crypto conspiracy, one of my theories once was that JP Morgan would come out with a silver backed JP Morgan type coin because they had all this silver that they jacked from a lot of people for over the years. And I thought, what are they going to do with the silver? I thought, well, it would make sense if they backed it with some sort of crypto coin, but I don't think that's going to happen. I believe that may have been in the works, but I don't think it's going to happen. But to your point, an asset-backed crypto that, once again, is audited, it's legit, respects the U.S. Constitution and privacy rights, and it's got the real assets, and it's got real gold or silver behind it. I think that is no doubt. That is the model. I think the only question is there, passing muster with regulatory bodies, and the details there. But it makes complete sense to have that. I mean,
I'm an advocate of it, as you know, and I've never said that that's the only way to go, right? Because the safest is in your own hands. The solution with the blockchain or the immutable ledger is it's an immutable ledger, which means that, when the goldsmiths held your gold and saw only 1 out of 10 came and got the gold, not they started making up receipts for gold that didn't exist, it was fraud. And it's the same thing that story's been played out over and over again. Whereas on the ledger, you see everything that goes in and out. So it's transparent for everyone. And of course, still there's the problem of making sure that, what's on the ledger is truly there. That I don't think in today's technology is really that big a problem. I think you could do bailments where you actually take a picture of the bar gets weighed, it's assayed, could put on a shelf, and there's a camera watching it 24/7 from anywhere in the world. I mean, you want to go to that extreme. It could be done in today's technology. My point is the convenience of it.
Yes.
I mean, it's a good way for me to, sell my reports for silver, for you to, do whatever transactions you want. And that's the real purpose of this, is that we can put money back in the hands of the people and they can spend it easily. They don't have to look on their computer and find out, what the going rate is for silver. It's done for them automatically. And of course you can negotiate, I'll buy that for, an ounce of silver. Nope, ounce and a half. Okay. That type of thing. Anyhow, the one that's bothered me, and this is going over to your channel, Silver is Money. It's kind of hitting a bit of a tangent on what I just said. It's really off the crypto space. Is this first state depository out of Delaware? Turns out to be a fraud. This depository that had been there for many, many years, there were some sub businesses surrounding this, was the depository recommended by different IRAs that were gold silver IRAs.
Wow.
So think about it, John. You're saving for your retirement. You hear the silver story. Gold preserves your wealth no matter what. You're conservative. You go and you call up your IRA person and they say, yep, gold, silver IRA, sign these docs. You're going to buy this amount at this price, and we're going to store it with first state depository. Then you get a notice that they're in receivership. So this is very, very disturbing to me, John. And I just want your comment, but the immutable ledger should, I say should, I'm human, prevent that type of thing, because you should on open source, no backdoor, take a look at every transaction, cameras on the goods, prevent this type of thing. So I don't know what to say, John. I don't know if I'm breaking the news to you. It's been in the news in front of me.
I know. I missed that story. I'm very, very skeptical about any silver gold that you don't have in your hand. I'm of the belief that, diversification. Okay. I got this metal. Are we going to put it all in one basket? No, maybe we'll put some over here and some over here and some over here. And then maybe, we'll have some in physical storage, physical possession, and then maybe have some, mining stocks over here, major miners over here, intermediate miners, percentage here in the exploration sector here. Having that diversified look at it. My attitude towards something like this in this market right now is, if this goes down, what are my losses going to be? Can I make it up over here?
Right.
If I lose this physical, are my mining stocks going to come back? I mean, God forbid it happens, but am I going to make up for some of it over here? Yeah, well, from a balanced strategy, I'd be, what are my potential counterparty losses here? What would have happened over here if this went down? Well, chances are you would think that that this kind of stuff wouldn't happen. But the problem, I think, the big problem is this, David. There is simply no accountability and responsibility in the financial world right now. I mean, look at Sam Bankman. This guy's like billions gone. This guy's just still walking around hanging out at Starbucks. And as long as people get away with murder, there's not going to be any type of feedback. The minute they just say, oh, by the way, it's like, if you are responsible for a theft that, that costs people over, $100 billion, this many people here, this is going to be the death penalty. And I'm like, oh shit. It's like, we're not scamming these. It would be, the problem would be solved because there's no recourse. We have no accountability and no recourse. But, I think having that diversified strategy now, especially with things like this, the technology is in the place that having access, physical viewership, cameras, observation now, it's so inexpensive now that there's almost, the companies that do that really have a leg up on everyone else. And it's just another way of saying, because there are good storage facilities out there who can say, look, these guys are scammers. We're real. It's like, in fact, we're so good. Our cameras are up here. You want to come do this, come do that. And unfortunately, we're there. It's just, I think that and this is what, look, I've seen other, MF Global. What happened there? I mean,
right.
We're at the point to where it's like, there's enough problems in the industry where it's like, well, there's too many cases now where it's like, well, here we go again. I mean, I was not aware of the story. And the truth is, I'm actually surprised to hear this again, but I think people are now stealing with the idea of, well, we can get this much out and this is the cost of doing business. We'll pay a fine. Some will go to jail. We'll get out. And then, here's our treasure chest over here. It's just, we just don't have any accountability and responsibility in the financial system. I mean, Gary Gensler, SEC, Sam Bankman-Fried, we got, these people are still walking around. And unfortunately, if you rob 7-Eleven out of $50, you're going straight to jail. You rob, a million people out of $1 million each, you're going to Starbucks.
I know.
It sucks. I hate it. It's embarrassing. It's like, as an American, I'm like, I am totally embarrassed about this situation. And when people come to me extremely skeptical about working in the financial, I said, I get it, man. I totally get it. I go, why do you think I'm the way I am? I'm very opinionated. I'm very skeptical. I'm very big on you controlling your situation. Why? Because these freaking scammers are everywhere. It's like, well, if this was like, Hangtown, what's the name of that city? Placerville, Hangtown, California, where they were hanging people for stealing gold. That's why his nickname was called Hangtown. Well, nowadays, you steal gold, you hang out at Starbucks. Back in Placerville, I remember going down to Placerville, there was a monument, there was a body hanging on a rope. I go, look at that, at Hangtown. I go, what's that about? Sort of just back in the 80s. They said, oh, well, back in the day, they hung you. I'm like, oh, okay, well, back then, but we don't have that anymore. Now it's like you steal 100 million, you're hanging out at Starbucks.
Well, John, I've got a couple silver questions for you. One is the premiums have been very high for month after month after month. We saw that in the 2008 crisis. It only lasted about 2 months. I actually wrote an article beforehand, said the premiums are going to come down. They're not going to stay high. And that's actually what happened. But this time it's different. These premiums they have backed off some, but relative to historical standards, they're still extremely high, especially on claims. So I want the John Perez take from Silver is Money. What do you think is going to happen to the premiums going out over the next year or so?
I think we're going to be looking at, well, I was on the phone this morning with a friend of mine, and they have their own private made Eagles. It's Monex, and their Eagles, in fact, I wrote it down. There was a $9 spread between their privately made Eagles versus their American Eagles, $9.25. But the American Eagle was $9.25 a premium than a privately minted Eagle. Same $9.99, fine.
Yep. Same amount of silver.
Yeah. So I think when we hit $50 spot price, we're going to be looking at $25 premiums without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I think the Eagles are going to be $25, $30, $35. And it's going to be really sad for a lot of people who saw silver, they didn't buy it. And people are going to say, well, well, I tell people, don't wait for it to go to 25, 35, 45, because that's not going to be the price. If you see 35 on the screen, dude, you're going to pay $50, $55. Oh, I didn't think about that. I go, nobody thinks about that, because you're looking at a heavily manipulated, repressed silver price that to me is not real. The street price for an American Eagle with the premium on the street, that's the closest you're going to get to the real price. You look at the spot price, oh, well, silver's still only $21 an ounce. Yeah, go buy an American Eagle. You're going to pay 33, 34, 35, 36 bucks. So that means when we hit 35 bucks, you're paying 55, 60. Now, for someone who doesn't have a lot of money and all of a sudden they realize, wow, maybe I should consider looking at silver, they're going to go down with what little they have and go, oh, wow, I didn't know about this premium thing here. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be a really painful moment. So I think premiums are going to continue to go higher. And the last conversation we had, we talked about the COMEX and the amount of silver in the COMEX. It was 42 million, 50 million. And you called me out on that. And I said, you know what? I think what's left in the COMEX belongs to the mint. And apparently they're not minting the way they used to. So in my opinion, I believe that the premiums, why is it $10? Why is it a US mint American Eagle is $10 more than a privately minted Eagle? The truth is this, that they actually know the real price of silver is higher. That's why it's there. I mean, it's American Eagle. Why is it so high? Because they're not stupid. It's like, what's the spot price today? It's $21. Oh, call hey, US man, I'd like to get some $21 Eagles. Ha ha ha. What do you mean? That's 36 for you. But the spot says this. Well, wink, wink. Maybe we know the real price better than you do. So that's my take on that. The premiums, I think, are going to skyrocket. The premiums are going to slaughter people. The premiums are going to wipe people out, because the minute people find out there's less than 1% of the investment community is in the precious metal sector. Probably 1/100th or 1/1000th is in this mining stock sector. All it's going to take is 1% of the panic, and the herd panics. The silver vaporizes, and then we go straight up, and the premiums are going to go. I think the premiums are going to rise faster than the spot price. And I visited a coin shop the other day. Coin shop's been in business for probably 39 years. And I'm always talking about how's the traffic, who's coming in, who's buying, who's selling. And for the longest time, so we just didn't have any bullion. We couldn't get good quantities. Now we got some the other day. What happened? That's what they said. Silver popped up to 21.30, 21.25 in the last 2 weeks. They said people ran in and sold their silver. I said, oh my gosh, how could you sell your silver right now? That's completely insane. You sold your silver for $21, on the bid, yet the premium is what, 10, 12, $15 on the American Eagle side. So, I thought, wow, anyone letting go of their silver down here, man, they're really going to have some big regrets. And now the minute they sold and walk out the door, I changed my mind. I want my silver back. It's like, it's going to cost you a lot more. It's like, why is that? The spot price is still $21. Yeah, but there's a premium now. It's like, why did you tell me? Well, it's like, that's like imagine, it's like taxes now. You know what? It's like literally, if you look at the U.S. Mint premium compared to the spot price, it must be 36%. Sounds. Maybe they're using the IRS formula anyhow to come up with that. Conspiracy.
John, what's it going to take to get more education to the general public, not just in the United States or North America, but globally? What's it going to take to get enough education? I know silver's money's gone from, I don't know, 300 or 400 when you and I talked the first time to what do you have, 6,000 now or something?
Yeah.
What's it going to take to get this out? I mean, Wall Street Silver has probably been very much key in driving the story forward. But we need, in my opinion, even more than that. Do you have anything in mind that might take place, or some event that might happen that could trigger the silver psyop where people go, wait a minute, I don't want anything to do with this nonsense anymore. Give me silver or give me death. I mean,
yeah, well, we're there right now. It's like, Patrick Henry, change the script, my friend. Give me liberty. No, give me silver eagles or give me death. No, get me private eagles. Why? It's like, I don't have to pay the premium. I think what it's going to take is going to take a major individual, a presidential candidate, or a big a few Wall Street guys, and I hate to say it, but it's going to take some big billionaire types that are high profile money guys combined with a big presidential candidate like Trump, who I do expect Trump to go hands all in on silver. I expect Trump to go 100% all in on silver. And he's going to say, and he has said, he's tweeted out, silver is money. And that's where I got the name of my group, Silver is Money News and Silver is Money. And he said, silver has been money throughout all of history. And he's got a 5-year delta coming on that. It was in January 2017 where he said, silver has been money throughout all of history. And here it is at 1650, sad price. So now we got 5-year delta coming out. I believe Trump is, when he returns, he's going to go all in on silver. and I know he believes in silver and gold. He has accepted gold as money. He believes, I have it on tape. I have him on tape saying, we have a gold standard ready. It can be very difficult, but a gold standard is ready. I believe that's true. Not now, but at the right time it will. But I think it's going to take someone like Trump, a combination with some Wall Street titans, and I hate to say it, but someone like Kramer and a few other titles to go through and let this out here. And I think that'll be the running of the bulls. It'll be a Spain. And by the way, the bulls are going to be trampling people. There'll be no one escaping the running. When the silver bulls run, there'll be no escaping. It's going to be people getting gored and trampled by the silver, because you and I know when the silver bull market goes, it's, everybody gets trampled, everyone gets out of the way, and it takes off like an NHRA dragster. So I think it's going to require a presidential candidate, some Wall Street titans, and some big firms coming through, and guys like Jim Cramer and a few other business heads, and then of course the Bloombergs and the CNBCs bringing the precious metals guys on television and letting them broadcast, letting them give their opinion on it's going to take a collective effort, because we've got a population that was literally uninformed, misinformed, and disinformed on the value of gold and silver. People see credit cards, crypto, and debt as money, when it's like, no, silver is money. Silver is money. That's the news. Silver is money is the news. Gold is money. Platinum, palladium is money. So I think what we need to see is some big Wall Street titans, some big mainstream media guys here, and a big presidential candidate. And there's a congressional bill going right now to make gold the standard. I think it's coming. Oh, what news out today? Third quarter, largest purchases of gold since today, 3 hours ago. Central banks now hold the same amount of gold percentage-wise as they did in what year? 1974. And we know where silver went from 1974 to 1980. And today, central banks had record amount of gold buying in the third quarter of 2022, and they kicked off the fourth quarter 2022 with more record buying here after a 6-month losing streak in gold. What were they doing? They did what you're supposed to do when gold goes down. You buy the dip, and the central banks bought it. While Joe Public is scratching their head, well, silver and gold are going nowhere, crypto's going nowhere. The banks are buying hand over fist right now. I posted the article this morning. I read it publicly. I said, look, the central banks are buying as much gold as they did in 1974. They're buying at a record pace, and they started fourth quarter 2022 buying at record gold. We can't lose. We can, and every day they hold down the price, the fundamentals get better and better and better. With all this money going to Ukraine, money going here, we got Z's in Saudi Arabia. Everything, David, is pointing our direction. But the silver price doesn't show us. It doesn't matter. Go buy an American Eagle at the spot price at any store. You're sorry, it's not reality here. And it's like investing, investing at this stage of the game, when you've got not only an undervalued project, but an underinvested asset that's not only a currency, but as well as a commodity and an industrial metal here. Everyone knows this. And I'm going to make a prediction here, because I got to have some conspiracy here, and I got to throw a long bomb here. I'm going to say this. It is going to be President Modi is going to be that one of those persons, if not the person, that triggers a run on silver when gold gets to the 2,500 plus mark, 3,000 mark. It's going to be, Indians are going to say, because they're shipping gold, hand, truck, tons going to India. India is going to say it's time to consider silver, and it's going to become the Indians are going to suck up all the silver, because the price of gold, once it gets past 2,500 mark, 3,000 here, silver is going to come into the game. And when silver makes that big move upward, it's going to be on the news here. So I think that we're in literally the final stages. And as I've said the whole time, when Bitcoin dies, silver flies. We're already in the decoupling phase. Now we're just waiting for the big trumpet to sound off. And I think this BitBoy guy is going to be the one that breaks Tether, because he said the number one biggest scam in the world, said it was Tether. I'm like, this guy's got 1.4 million people. He's got some pull here, and he is hooked up here. And so now let's sit back and watch. I think it's patience. And central banks are buying hand over the fist right now. Follow the banks. What are the banks doing? Forget what they say. Follow the bank. They're not but the press is out today. So anyhow, I'm excited to say
Great.
I'm excited.
John, it's always exciting to have you on, and you bring a lot of information to everyone. And thanks for all that you've done, and wish you continued success. Wish you happy holidays going forward. I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I'll let you sign off as well. So I think we're going to rename this. We're going to call it the Crypto Apocalypse. We'll start a new series. We've gone to 28 on the crypto conspiracy. I think we'll start a new one, and you started the last one, so we'll start this one. And I'll give you the final word. John, where can we find more about John Perez and all of your Telegram feeds?
Well, before I want to give a shout out to Michael McKibben. Michael McKibben, he talked about a back door in crypto, and he called it. And I knew that right from the beginning. All crypto have a back door. Prove me wrong. But if you type in FTX backdoor, you will see dozens of articles, and they even admitted it, that they were manipulating. They were literally taking crypto out of accounts and moving client money. They were just taking this money and sending it out, trading it, going back and forth. So Michael McKibben called it absolute backdoor. I believe that all crypto have a backdoor, but the backdoor thing, he called it. He was right on the money. I know he got a lot of criticism for it, but Michael McKibben called it right on the money there. I mean, they have a backdoor. So I mean, it's like going down. You deposit your money in the bank, and it's like you're putting it into somebody else's ATM, and you got a bank robber pulling your money and trading it. I mean, this just is insane. What Tom Brady, all these people lost millions of dollars here, and they haven't even disclosed. Here's another thing. They have not even disclosed, I think, the 50 top creditors who are owed money. There's some big names here. So anyhow, lots to come there, but you can find me. I'm on Telegram specifically. Well, I follow you. I'm always retweeting your stuff on Twitter at Comstock Royalty. On Telegram, I'm at Silver is Money News, which is our live feed. I broadcast throughout the day. And then I've got all my Silver is Money News channel where I have all my archive shows. And yeah, we went from 100 and something people here about this time last year, about 155, and we hit 6,000, and it continues to grow. So we got our Silver Gold Stock Club, which is booming now. We got a live feed. We got a prepper channel. People doing gardening, all kinds of great stuff in the prepping side here. But it's turned into a really great community, and you're actually a high profile guy in that community there. People love working, and a lot of people have found me, through our interviews here. So Silver's Money on Telegram, Silver's Money News on Telegram, and of course, I'm always following your stuff and retweeting and tagging you on Twitter.
All right, John, thank you for your time. We will revisit. We'll find out if Mr. Trump decides to shout out or trumpet out the word silver.
That's a big one. Hold me to it. I'm going to hold you that, Perez. He said Trump's going to do this. I'll see about that one. It's like, but Michael McKibben, shout out to Michael McKibben. He, on the backdoor thing, he nailed that one.
All right, John. It's always fun. Thank you, and happy holidays.
All right, thank you. All right, have a great day, David.
Bye-bye.